here is the first shout concept. This concept I've used a lot. I wouldn't call myself a shout guitarist, but I've learned enough where I can kind of hold my own. And this is something that I've used all the time. And I hope it's something that you can use as a jumping off point. Actually, all the concepts in this particular lesson series, I hope that they can encourage you as a jumping off point so you can learn other stuff and break down other concepts as well. So this first one, I'm going to slow it down, but it goes like this. So that's the sound of it. Now let's break down what I'm doing. Now, if you're familiar with the C or the minor pentatonic scale, we're going to be using that as kind of like the framework of this particular gospel or a shout riff. So the C, we're going to be using the C minor pentatonic scale. And we're also going to be using a dominant note, which would be, if you know your seventh chord or your dominant seventh chord, maybe your shape's like this, or even like this. Same. This note right here is part of this riff as well. So here it is. Here is your C minor pentatonic. And we're doing everything within that C minor pentatonic shape. So we are barring these three notes, which is the second, third, and fourth string. Or you can either play the second and third string. But basically what I'm doing is sliding up from the 7th fret to the 8th fret. So basically whatever position you're in, slide up from 1 fret below. So in this case, we're in the 8th fret, so I'm sliding from below. So that creates almost like a little chord here, almost like that A-shaped chord, right? So I'm sliding, and then still using that same shape, but I'm using my third finger to go from here to here. So going from the 8th and barring those the same strings with my third finger. And then I am hitting on the third string, I'm hitting this note, which is from that dominant 7. So almost doing like minor to dominant. So almost like that, but it sounds kind of corny, right? So from here to here. And that's really a kind of like a bluesy type of little hammer on. Because if you think about blues, it's like that note really makes everything bluesy. So this particular shout riff or concept, barring here, and then hammering here. So you have to make sure you hit this, and then here, and then from here, make sure you bar that first set of notes, and then hammer on to the third string. So slowed down is. Up to speed, you can use the shout track to play up to speed, but it's and also you can also slide from the first 2 strings as well. So you're playing the first, second, and third string instead of the second, third, and fourth. And you can still use the same concepts that we just went over. personally like this version better because it sounds a bit brighter. Here it sounds a bit more muddy. But when I do want to start palm muting, which is this concept here, if you're just playing, then I like to play within these strings, the second, third, and fourth, because it has a bit more warmth, a bit more body to it, as opposed to here. So this is how it sounds with palm muting. And that's how I'll use palm muting, the palm muting technique in this particular riff, I guess you can call it. Yeah. You notice my right hand just keeps on moving. 1 E ended, 2 E ended, 3 E ended, 4 E ended. It's so fast, like I can't even count it. But it's like, I'll slow it down. So keep an eye on my right hand. It's 1 E ended, 2 E ended, 3 E ended, 4 E ended. Sorry. That is that particular riff. That one is the staple of when I first started learning this kind of stuff. And from there, you can learn a lot of other cool things. So stay tuned for the next set of lessons.